Welcome to another day of the 180-Day Idea Machine Challenge. I'm Florian, author at lifesciencementor.com, and I welcome you very much to my video. Today I'm going to talk about 15 ways to become more resilient in life. And whenever we do something, it's important to be resilient because most things in life that we try to achieve are a product of daily grind, if you will. Or if you want to formulate it a little bit more positive, daily action that you put in to get to your goals. All these overnight successes are in reality 5-year successes, long in the making, and then the overnight event is only when most people become aware of it. But there's 5 to 10 years before that happened behind the scenes. And so it's important to be resilient, and you'll have ups and downs. You'll have days that are going very well. When you learn something, you have days that are not going too well. And while it's easy to just keep going when something goes well, it's also dreadful sometimes to keep going when things are not going too well. Because especially, for example, while I'm building up my blog, and I thank you very much for being part of it, but I can tell you some days it goes very well, and other days I am insecure. I don't know whether what I'm posting is really appealing to most people. Maybe I'm biting up more than I can chew. And then there are days when I think everything is great. And it's important to take the power of these days that see me advancing and being happy about it, which, by the way, I'm basically happy about this blog, about everything I do in life. But you want to sometimes take the energy you get from those great days, preserve it, and apply it to the other days. And here are 15 ideas how you can actually do that. So the first idea is from Victor Pride's program 30 Day of Discipline. That's where I learned it, and that's where I installed it into my life. And it's about getting up at 5 a.m. every morning, or at the latest 7 a.m. I always used to think I was an evening person and a night person, and so getting up at 5 a.m. seemed dreadful. But what I realized is that you get used to getting out at 5 a.m. pretty quickly. And then secondly, you have the whole day in front of you. Once you go up at 5 a.m. several days in a row, you are able to witness sunrise when you're in winter, or you just wake up when the sun goes up. That's a big plus right there. And then I realized that often the night activity that maybe several of us have experienced or are still experiencing may not actually be the most efficient activity. Maybe you are a typical evening person. I myself considered myself to be an evening person, but now I know I'm actually much more of a morning person. The reason why I worked very well in the evening was that often the best work came before deadlines. So I had to work the last day before, and then all of a sudden, magically, I could work very well on the evening. But if I think about what I'm doing now, writing every day at least 1,000 words, often much more, that is something I can only really do in the morning. I try to do my creative work at lunchtime, at the afternoon, in the evening, but it doesn't have the same energy to it. I can still write it, but it feels kind of like a little bit of a drag to do it. So I prefer to really do the work in the morning, and I recommend to every one of you, if you're not doing that already, just try it for a couple of days. Get up 5 a.m. in the morning and then really test whether you are maybe not indeed a morning person after all, right? So getting up at 5 a.m. in the morning makes you more resilient because you don't feel like catching up. There's the whole day is in front of you, and you can tackle any obstacle that may come your way. You have enough time to look at it and to tackle it. If you wake up at 9 and you have to be at a certain point at 10, or let's say you wake up at 8, right? And let's say also your commute is not an hour, right? You have to be at your workplace at like latest 9:15. So when you wake up at 8, you just have time to hit the shower, grab a quick coffee on Starbucks, maybe on the way to work, and then you're just getting started into the day, but already you have to work, right? If you go up at 5, you have like 3 full hours at least to really do what you want to do. And having the knowledge that you have enough time in the day to prepare yourself for any obstacle that may come your way goes a long way to becoming more resilient. And really, the program where I installed it completely that has helped me a lot is 30 Days of Discipline. Check it out. I have a link to a review of Victor Pride's book on my webpage on this article accompanying this video. So if you're curious, just check it out. I have it more explained in there. Number 2 is cold showers. Now, cold showers sounds dreadful, and my history of cold showers is I love them now, but that not always used to be the case. I was exclusively taking warm showers. Born in 1975, until 1995 I was taking warm showers always. And then in 95 I switched. On New Year's Eve, one of all these New Year's Eve resolutions, I took cold showers, completely cold. And I was able to do that for 2 days, and then I decided, no, it's not for me. However, I decided to do contrast showers. Right, I start with a cold shower, then go off to a warm shower, and then end with a cold shower again. And that I managed to keep to ever since. I kid you not, since it's now more than 20 years that I've taken contrast showers, and 20 years is about right, because in 2015, last year, I switched from contrast showers to cold showers. So 20 years contrast showers, 1 year already of exclusively cold showers again. That was also after I read 30 Days of Discipline. Cold showers invigorate, wake you up, and one problem if you have warm showers, even contrast showers for me, was to stay forever under there, because it just feels so comfortable and so cozy. When you wake up, you don't want to be uncomfortable. You want to reclaim a little bit of that nice bed in your life. And that doesn't make you resilient. That just prolongs the time that you've been comfortable. So get used to some uncomfort. It has tremendous advantages later on in your day. You're refreshed. You can look at everything with a fresh mind. Besides that, cold showers have been suspected, and I think now they have even shown that cold showers boost your immune system. They certainly boost your circulation, and when your blood is circulating, your lymph liquid is also circulating. Way, right? So it boosts circulation, and that way you get invigorated. And I think some other cures are also against depression, anxiety, and certainly breathing gets better. You know how you go into a cold shower, and then the first thing you do is you start hyperventilating, right? So your heart pumps to get warm blood to your extremities, and your breathing increases. And it's a curious reflex that you have, really, that you hyperventilate. But it's true, and it happens, and it improves your bodily function, jolts you awake, plus you don't waste a long time in the shower. I tell you, in the New Jersey winter, we just had the snowstorm Jonas here. I was taking cold showers, and you don't stay too long on there. Now, I have long hair, so putting shampoo into my hair and washing it out takes extra long as well. But that is something I gladly accepted, because in the end, it makes my day so fresh. I'm so happy about it. So cold showers is the second big reason that I'm more resilient than I was before. Now we get to next point, which is, and I have noted it down here, so I'm reading it off a script a little bit. So the third point to become more resilient is, drum roll, intermittent sleep. And that is now something I'm not entirely secure about, but it's an idea. right? So there have been recently some studies claiming that people in medieval times used to have a very intermittent sleep schedule, because you see these pictures from medieval painters and they show like farmer's family, and you see that there is the farmer's wife awake while it's the middle of the night, and people speculate that maybe that was the natural way people slept. 4 hours awake, then maybe 1 hour sleep. 4 hours awake, 1 hour sleep. There are people that go so far as to say, take a nap of 30 minutes every 6 hours, or 20 minutes every 4 hours. And if you take 20 minutes every 6 hours, you end up with half an hour at 12, half an hour at 6, half an hour at noon, and half an hour at 6 p.m. So it's 4 times 30 minutes, 2 hours of sleep over the day, 22 hours of being awake. That's very attractive. And you may want to try that out for 1 or 2 days, if that is something you can get used to. So most people say it's probably not working, but I say, why not try it out? And then there's also, as a suggestion, become more resilient, it may actually be enough sleep, right? So maybe you need indeed a block of 6 or 7 hours of sleep. That's the opposite to what I just proposed, right? Not intermittent sleep, but like one sleep schedule en bloc. And some people need 4 hours. That's it. Some people need 8 hours or even 9 hours. I happen to need right in the middle, between 6 and 7 hours. It can be that how much sleep you need is most strongly determined by your DNA. Now, it could be that you really need a lot of sleep, and then there's no way to try to stay awake too much. If you need your sleep, you need your sleep. It may also be that you don't need that much sleep. I'm saying try it out. Now, it could be that in medieval times, people were selected. Those people that could do on intermittent sleep better, they thrived more in that environment, right? And for some reason, we switched to a block sleep schedule, and now this selects for people who do very well if they have a sleep in one block. So it could be a genetic base, after all, how much sleep you need. The whole argument, basically, that I'm trying to make here is that the optimal amount of sleep for you is very important for being resilient on the long run. And it could be that you sleep too much, and it could be that you sleep too little. You have to try that out. And intermittent sleep and like a long block of sleep are kind of two extremes, and I just encourage you to see where you lay in the middle and stick to that sleep. Number 6, keeping a constant schedule. And that is important for the simple reason that the more you automate in your life, the more energy you have to tackle the real problems and also to withstand obstacles. It's also very common sense. If your house is cleaned up, if there's nothing like laying about, so if your schedule is cleaned up, if you automate most of your stuff, then you have in your habit, in your daily behavior, and in your daily environment, everything is, you don't need to worry about anything, right? If you look back and there was stuff laying on the ground, right? Even if I wasn't filming, I would be bothered by that. That would always be on my mind. And then every day I would have to, or if there's like a box, every one of us has a box of stuff standing around somewhere, I suspect. And if that box is not taken care of, then this box occupies us in our mind. And we spend precious energy resources on thoughts what to do with this freaking box, right? So that's why I'm saying keep your schedule as clean as possible, keep your environment at home as clean as possible, and then you will be you'll have much more energy to tackle anything else. There was a test that researchers did, psychologists. They had 2 groups of volunteers, and they were led into a room, and this room had a bowl of broccoli and a bowl of chocolate. And one group was told you cannot eat the chocolate, you can only eat the broccoli. And the other group was told to just eat anything they like. And naturally, they ate the chocolate. most of them. And now the second phase of the experiment was asking the people to solve a mathematical equation. It was a mathematical test that everyone could in principle solve, right? It was very basic math. But the problem was geared in a way that there was no solution to it. So people would actually spend hours, if they wanted to, on solving this problem. So that made sure that people had to be occupied with a mathematical problem without being done at one point, right? So turns out that the people who had to eat the broccoli and were only allowed to watch the chocolate gave up after, I don't know, a couple minutes, maybe like 10 minutes or something like that. And the other group stayed statistically significantly much longer on the math test. It seems like almost they could just follow their will, follow their short-term motivation. They didn't have to exude any willpower. They just ate the chocolate, and then they had more willpower to stick it out with a mathematical question. So your willpower is a finite resource, and that's why it's important to automate as much as possible, have a clean environment as much as possible, so then you have full energy when it really matters. Number 7, workout and pain, right? So everyone should work out, not just to get muscles, although it's a nice side effect, not just to get an athletic body, although that's a very nice side effect. It is important to work out to subject your body to unpleasantness, discomfort, and maybe even pain. And it's important that you don't like bench press like 30 pounds every day because, yeah, you go to the gym, bench press a featherweight, and then nothing happens, right? You have to subject your body to some pain. You have to increase the weights until it's really difficult to lift it, and you still have to try lifting it. Or when you're already exhausted from running, you have to give it your all the last 100 meters or the last 500 meters, whatever it is. You have to expose yourself to pain. And some martial arts gyms, I read, they even kick each other's shin, right? To put you into pain, that you then you're used to pain and you're able to withstand it. So that is actually something that makes you more resilient very clearly, because if you're used to a higher level of pressure, if a higher level of pain doesn't feel like pain to you anymore because you're used to it, yeah, you can dish out more, you're less afraid, you're more resilient. Where other people would give up, there's not even an obstacle for you, right? So workout and pain. Number 8, no comfort food. It's similar to workout and pain. If you basically lower your tolerance for the really sweet stuff. What I mean by that is, you don't need to be resilient to eat a bowl of ice cream. That comes sort of natural to us, right? But to eat like our veggies before the ice cream, if we are used to eating ice cream, then eating veggies comes like a drag. Or even having a tea that is sweetened with, don't worry about that. That is actually my Pomodoro time. Short detour. I have this timer running 25 minutes focused work, and then I can take a break 5 minutes. Now I'm supposed to take a break, but screw that. If you are used to eating ice cream all the time, then even drinking a tea without any sugar in it, or even with honey in it, will become like, lame. But, however, if you get used to eating no sugar at all, then all of a sudden honey becomes amazing, right? So you wanna put yourself into the pain of not enjoying your most liked food, because then you enjoy them much more when they're there. And also, if you have to eat another bowl full of vegetables, no problem, right? So that's that. No comfort food. Then eating 3 meals or less a day. Unless you really want to bulk up and need to eat like 5 or 6 meals per day that are like full-scale pounds of meats every time. then 3 meals a day is really where you should go. By the way, also something from 30 Days of Discipline. 3 meals a day means that you don't get used to get addicted to eating. People that eat like all the time get addicted. And you know how I know that? Because I used to be addicted to eating all the time. And you become bloated, you become lazy, you certainly don't want to do anything. And you feel like, at one point I thought, man, this is like somebody must feel who's constantly smoking weed. If you get addicted to food, or even a milder version of that, you will not be resilient. However, if you have like 3 meals a day, then you can't snack all the time in between. You restrict yourself, and then any obstacle that doesn't allow you to have nice food, you don't realize that as an obstacle anymore, because you're used to just eating 3 meals per day. And even if it's only 2 meals per day, no problem. Like, for example, today I wrote this blog post in the morning. I did some other writings, and as a result, I ate my breakfast around noon. No problem. I didn't have breakfast in the morning. Not a big deal. I can eat one more meal today and I'm fine. Just because I'm used to eating only 3 meals a day. Right, number 10, vegetable juices. That's something Mike Cernovich brought up. He has a whole site called fitjuice.com, and it's about vegetable juice. He describes in his books, he describes how to choose the best juicer, lots of juicing recipes that you can use, and also practical tips for juicing. For example, put like a trash bag, plastic bag into the pulp compartment of your juicer, then you never have to clean the pulp compartment, essentially. So, juices are interesting. They give you a boatload of vitamins and nutrients. You can eat if you take one of the most simple juices, the CAG juice, carrot, apple, ginger. It's like 3 carrots, 2 apples, thumb size piece of ginger, and then you shred it all through the juicer, and you get 1 glass of juice, and you drink it down. You could never eat or V8 juice that has beets, lemon, celery, apples, carrots, kale, I think, other spices and herbs that I forgot right now. It's all in Mike's book. But are you able to eat beets and celery and all that together over a whole day? Doubt it, but you can drink it as a juice. So, and this carrot, apple, ginger juice, and even the V8 juice, they still have carbs in it, right? Now, you could actually, you do that, you drink a carrot, apple, ginger juice. That's already less sweet than most of the snacks you have. Now you get used to that, right? And now you switch to a V8 juice mostly. Doesn't need to be as sweet as a carrot, apple, ginger juice anymore. And then, in the end, you can drink something like kale lemonade that has next to no carb, is like lemons and kale, and tastes amazing. Now you got all the sugar out of your mind. You got used to not eating sugar. And hell, if you can drink kale juice and cabbage juice, man, I mean, food-wise, I don't know how you can be more resilient than that, right? And it's good for your health as well. So your body becomes more resilient. You get a constant diet of vitamins and nutrients, pure, that can only be good to the body. Number 10, vegetable juices. Number 11, have a goal you're passionate for, right? Whatever you do, if you start doing it, forget about do what you love. That's lofty, and even if you can do what you love, you have to think about having a target market for what you want. If you want to earn money with what you love and not just have it as a hobby, you want to have a target market. But I digress. Get yourself used to love what you do. You start out doing something, you select something you have some proficiency in. You selected a target market. You selected people that you can give value to with what you do. Then you do it, and you do it more, and more. And the more you do it, the more successful you become. Then you do it a little bit more because now you're successful, now you're motivated. And then you get momentum that carries you through until you really love what you do. And on that way, if you really love what you do, any obstacle in the way is just a tactical setback that you think about how to deal with. It's not a reconfirmation anymore that you don't really love what you're doing, right? If you're passionate about what you do, if you have passion for it, if you do it under purpose, if you have all these motivators, then you will actually plow through any obstacles, and your passion may actually be making money or never ever having to have the commute anymore, because passion is could also be earning enough money, right? If you do some sanitary products, if that is what your company does, it doesn't make sense to say, I'm really passionate for developing porta potties, as I read somewhere. You don't really have a passion for porta potties, but you have a passion for making money with it, right? Or purpose. Okay, so develop some sort of purpose or passion for what you do, and you'll never see obstacles as ways to give up. So you're more resilient. Number 12 is having an abundance mentality. You can read Gorilla Mindset, it's explained in there, but in brief, a guy with a scarcity mentality is someone who is worried about doing something new because he may lose something. Somebody with abundance mentality knows that everything is there for him, and he can just take whatever he wants anywhere, anytime. It's always there. That's an abundance mentality. If you have a scarcity mentality and then there's an obstacle in your course, you will not be resilient because you will detract and protect your assets. If you have an abundance mentality, you see that obstacle as a chance to learn something new and jump over it. So abundance mentality makes you more resilient. Number 13, tracking your progress. This is something I learned from really own experience. So I'm at the moment, I'm at a low carb diet. So I eat next to no carbohydrates, or 20% of my daily calorie intake are carbohydrates. And that should lead to loss of body fat, right? More body fat percentage, right? I mean, if you just lose weight, you also lose fat, sure. But you want to go down your body fat percentage. And, when I started that, I tracked it every day. I measured it every day. And so the first few days, it may go down. Then it may go up again and stay very constant over time. And it's really frustrating because it's not pleasant at first to have a low carb diet. And then not have some confirmation from outside makes it really tough. But since I tracked it, I realized some days my body fat was really going down. So you realize that your development is in plateaus, and then there's a jump, and then there's a plateau again. It doesn't go smooth all the way. And what this means is that if you track this and have this as graphic form, as a curve in front of you, like my example, body fat against time. Body fat against time, and then you see it's zigzagging, but the overall tendency is going down. So tracking my progress was very important to tell myself that, even though there may be an obstacle one day, just continue, because the next day, on the long run, it will go down. Right? It helps to have it visualized in front of you. Number 14, consistency, which goes with what I said before. Track your progress, stay consistent, always apply, work towards your goal, and then track your progress and stay with it consistently. And number 15, focus on what you can control. Being resilient is all about overcoming obstacles. Obstacles in the way are actually most of the time from the outside. You cannot control them. So why give up on them? They have no bearing on you. They just block your way temporarily. If you want to get a huge contract, if you want to date your dream partner, if you want to win a competition, you need to practice every day for it, right? To get a new partner, like a romantic partner, you need to go out at least once a week. If you never see other people, you will not get to see new people, not meet your romantic partner. Number two, if you wanna get a huge contract, you need to make the connections with people. And then number three, if you want to win a competition or have a great paying career or sell something, have a great enterprise or anything like that, you need to work on it day after day after day. And the work you put in, you can control. I can put in at least every second day, or like I can do on average 3 to 4 blog posts per week. That's what I can do. That's what I can control. If a lot of people are going to watch this video, this is not in my control. I can make this video better over time, and I appreciate very much your comments. They help me make my videos better. But I cannot control how many of you are coming to see this, right? So I cannot be discouraged or overly encouraged if I see a lot of visitors. That is just something I cannot control. I can just continue working for it and see that over time I may have probably more success, more people watching my blog than if I don't put the work in. It's very clear. So last year I had several months where I wouldn't blog, and the visitor number from those times was going down. Much more down than it is now. So posting regularly does help bring about success, but I cannot influence who will come to visit me, right? And it's useless to wish for that to happen. All I can do is put in my work and see where I can still improve it. That's all that's in my power. And in that way, I don't see anything as an outside obstacle, right? I could have decided to see like low visitor numbers as an obstacle, but I don't, because I know when I put in the work, it'll get better eventually. And I encourage every one of you to do the same, right? So that's it. 15 points to become more resilient. It was a pleasure today for whatever reason. It was one of the most pleasures today to have this video for you. If you're still watching, or if you're watching back again, wherever, if you're with me, I thank you very much. And I want to say it means a lot to me that you come and visit my blog and read my blog, visit my videos. I'm happy about being able to share. And when my message just reaches like 1 or 2 of you, I already made a difference in somebody's life. So I'm happy about that, and that's why I like doing this. If you enjoyed this video, just click on like. Do me that favor. Thank you very much for it. If you want, subscribe. And I'll be very happy, very grateful if you do that. And if you leave me a comment, I'll answer every comment wherever you leave it. And I'm happy to talk to you. Thank you very much, and see you again tomorrow to another episode of the 180 Day Idea Challenge. Goodbye and good luck.